Ancient Power comes through, and of course, they're gonna get the boost, so we're in a tough spot here. No shield, swap out into the Reshiram. I'm gonna try and catch the flamethrower. So let's see if this is a big brain play. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, and if you're a returning subscriber like Alessandro Forgione, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're taking a look at some battles in the Master League Classic, and it is featuring possibly my favorite legendary Pokemon, that is Reshiram. So after the previous video, I did get up to 2940 with that team, and then I decided I want to try and reach legend rank with Reshiram, and things kind of didn't go as expected. I mean, maybe they did go as expected depending on how you look at it. I mean, Reshiram, it's very difficult to use in the Master League, and we tanked pretty hard. The team being featured in this video consists of a Groudon lead with Lugia and Reshiram in the back. I am no longer using this team, but it did have some decent results. Reshiram is very difficult to build around. The main issue is that it loses to Dialga quite hard, and then after, even though it's a fire type, it's losing to a lot of the steel types because those Pokemon have moves like Rock Slide, Drill Run, and they're dealing super effective damage. Dragon Breath is a fast move, is being resisted, so it's really difficult to build a team around this. It has a lot of soft losses to other Pokemon, a lot of hard losses, and then a lot of the Pokemon it beats, Dialga would do a better job than Reshiram in general. So it's very hard to use this Pokemon, but I really want to make it work, so I'm gonna keep on trying. We'll see if I can reach legend with this Pokemon, but I highly doubt it. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button, it helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so let's jump into these battles right here. We are leading Groudon with Lugia and Reshiram in the back. See a Zacian here in the first match, and Groudon obviously is going to be the best answer to a Zacian lead here. So I'm gonna let the opponent throw first, build up to an Earthquake, and I actually decided to throw an Earthquake here initially, expecting them not to shield this since I throw first, which they don't do. I kind of play this differently depending on the opponents and what I think they're going to do. So this is the first match. I decided to swap out here, try to catch a close combat on the Lugia, okay, and we do. So we're playing really heads up right here. We see a Metagross come in. Metagross is kind of a difficult Pokemon to deal with here because even Reshiram, the Dragon Breath doesn't that up. I mean, Crunch and Overheat are both super effective, so it is what it is. Aeroblast does get a shield though, which is very nice, and we get the attack increase, so things are looking pretty good here. Meteor Mash comes through, it's not going to KO. They can't really farm us down. Throw Sky Attack here, expect them to throw the Meteor Mash. Could have probably went to the Aeroblast to force them to throw energy here, but it looks like because we got the attack buff, they're gonna be forced to throw energy anyways. Like that play right here, we go down. I'm gonna come in with the Groudon right here, and the opponent has a move ready. So I'm gonna shield this up and look to commit to the farm down here. The Zacian will potentially come back in here. No, they come to Groudon instead, so I'm just gonna go straight for the Earthquake right here and then come in with the Reshiram. Reshiram against Groudon's a pretty interesting matchup because they need to land an Earthquake to win pretty much. You could see Dragon Tail here. Okay, well, I'm thinking of a Mud Shot. Dragon Tail is pretty problematic, but they didn't build up to the Earthquake, so it was an easy no shield right there. You see Fire Punch literally does nothing. Going for the Overheat right here. Bang! There it is. Groudon taking heavy damage. Zacian comes back in. We still have a shield. The opponent needs to farm up 2 moves. They don't want the smoke. Backing on out of there. Crunch was about to take them out with the resisted damage. Hopping into the next battle. And you can see the elo in these battles starting off at 2870. We are nowhere near that right now, but we see a very positive lead right here in the form of a Metagross. Opponent swaps out into Zacian, and this is a pretty tricky spot, right? Because my main answer to Metagross is this Groudon, and then it's kind of my answer to Zacian as well. So we do get the shield. I swap out into Lugia. Lugia doesn't have a great matchup here, but they are running Play Rough instead of Wild Charge, and with 2 shields, I could maintain Switch here. It's probably what we're going to want to do. So another Play Rough comes through. Things aren't looking too good, so I've kind of put myself in a spot where if they want to take Switch, they could just shield here and pretty much do that. But with a 2 shield advantage, I'm okay having the Reshiram on the Metagross because at that point, we could land an Overheat, win this game still. So I will take the 2 shield advantage right here and see what happens. So we're gonna have farm down here. Zacian taking us out, gonna come back in with the Groudon, and I'm not going to shield this first move, which happens to be a close combat. And the opponent defense is going to drop. Gonna shield up this one and probably look to commit to the farm down here. I'm not counting the energy, but we should be able to farm down. No, we're not going to farm down, so I'm definitely more aware in the game, so I assumed that we wouldn't be able to farm down. That's why I threw the Fire Punch here. They bring in the Giratina Origin. This is a great matchup for Reshiram. One of the few matchups where you love to see the Giratina origin. So ominous win, or rather you'd like to see the Reshiram come in, I should say. Going for the crunch. Right there you saw the opponent go for the ominous win. I have lost so many games that I was in a dominant position with Reshiram because the opponent got a boost. There was one game where the opponent got 2 boosts, took out an entire Dialga and Reshiram. It was ridiculous. I come in here with the ground. Notice I didn't throw the crunch there, which was definitely a mistake on my part. I should have done that, but thankfully the Giratina origin in the back is very low, so I only need like 2 mud shots here to win the game. But if I threw that crunch with the Reshiram, would have just been able to farm it down or take out Fire Punch on the Groudon, not having to go for that Earthquake. So a bit of a misplay there at the end, but these were still some of the early battles with Reshiram, still learning how the team works. And of course, we're not using the team anymore. So Giratina Origin lead here in the next match. Typically, when I see Giratina Origin, a lot of the teams are either double Charm or double Steel in the back right now. There are a couple of times I see like Dialga plus Kyogre, but for the most part, it is double Charm, double Steel. So take the Shadow Ball there, swap out into Lugia, and there is the first Steel type. So I'm assuming right here, it's probably going to be an Excadrill in the back. So having this shield right here is pretty important. Rock Slide comes through, and we're gonna go for Aero Blast. Lugia, of course, a very tanky Pokemon. It does lose this matchup, but it forces the opponent to throw. They can't really store up too much energy because they are taking quite a bit of damage here from Lugia, as you see. Rock Slide comes through, and we will get to another Sky Attack, so the opponent going to throw their energy here instead, and we'll come back in with the Groudon. So I'm not in a move yet. I'm going to try and CMP tie here on the Fire Punch, and this should be enough to take out the Melmetal. And then I'm expecting to see the Giratina Origin come back in, swap out to Reshiram, and there is the double Steel. So a pretty difficult spot to be in right here. Gonna go for the crunch bait, and I'm hoping for the defense drop and the shield. We get both, so we hit the jackpot right there. And Drill Run from this range, just about going to KO, so I'm going to shield up the first one. Getting that defense drop is pretty huge because they're actually in crunch range at this point, so shield up the next Drill Run, hoping I could outpace to the crunch. We get to it. This should be enough to KO here with the defensive drop. Yes, it is. And Giratina comes back in. And now at this point, I needed to swap here. The reason I did is because I actually thought I had more energy on the Groudon than I have 0 energy. I thought I was close to an Earthquake, so letting the Reshiram go down there made sense. Let them go dry on energy and then just build up, outpace them to the charge move. But as you saw, I had 0 energy, so huge misplay. Had I known I had 0 energy, which I should have been aware of, I would have swapped out into the Groudon, saving that energy on the Reshiram to then outpace them to crunch, but definitely a misplay on our part. Hopping into the next battle here, we got Groudon into a Shadow Snorlax. So pretty solid lead right here. Going to let the first move go through, and it is a Body Slam. And I'm just going straight for the Earthquake, but look at that, we like lag and it doesn't click, so we get very fortunate right there because of the lag. Fire Punch instead of the Earthquake, swap out into a Lugia. And at this point I was thinking, okay, things are going our way, but then of course the lag comes in return the opposite way. So I turn off the Wi-Fi here, of course, don't want to get screwed over. Ancient Power comes through, and of course they're gonna get the boost, so we're in a tough spot here. I build up 2 Aero Blast, expect them to shield this point, so I do go for the bait, which is a risky play, but now we at least will get 2 of these Sky Attacks off, which is going to be very nice. We missed like 100 bubbles, which is a disgrace. Come back in with Groudon, going to throw the Fire Punch right here. No shield, swap out into the Reshiram. I'm gonna try and catch the Flamethrower. So let's see if this is a big brain play. Yes, it is. Flamethrower resisted. That was a huge call right there. Farming down with the Dragon Breath. Look how much damage we took from the charms though. They had only a slither of health. They still did so much damage. Zacian comes in. I'm just going for the Hail Mary right here, hoping they no shield the overheat. Bang! There it is. Zacian taking the damage, but it still survives. And now we have 2 shields. I'm going to actually shield this up, and they're lowering their own defense. They come with the Snorlax, going for another overheat right here. This will be dealing big damage. Overheat comes through, swap out into the Groudon, and at this point I should be able to outpace to a couple of Fire Punches. So I'm going to shield up this move, and I believe I should be able to get to 2 Fire Punches here. Let's see if they want to shield this up. Going for the Fire Punch, gets the shield. I should outpace them to the next move, and then the Zacian is going to be forced to throw energy at the Groudon, otherwise they're going to get farmed down here. So Zacian trying to build up the 2 moves. Let's see if they get to it. This will knock out the Groudon. We need the Dragon Breath to be enough to KO. Yes, it is. We take that game in dramatic fashion. There were boosts in that game. There was a lot of lag, a lot of nonsense. We got lucky at the start. Opponent got lucky towards the end. We managed to win the game. Groudon into a Ho-Oh here in the next match. one of the worst leads you could possibly see with this team. So I'm going to swap out into Lugia. Lugia, of course, has a very nice matchup here against the Ho-Oh. We're going to go straight for the Sky Attack now. I let a free Incinerate there. Not the best timing on my part. I did overtap and then that allowed the free Incinerate through. So we're behind on energy now. Brave Bird comes through. I could tank the first one. And because we let that Incinerate go through, they're actually going to get to another move a bit sooner than usual. Forces me to burn a shield right here. They swap out into their own Lugia. So I'm just praying I can get to the Aeroblast here before they get to the Sky Attack, which it looks like we are able to do. So this will do a decent chunk of damage to the Lugia. No CMP tie, so that's very nice. We do get the attack boost as well once again, which really helps out with the chip damage. And then I try to go into the Reshiram right here, which in hindsight is probably the wrong play. But we get some lag and it actually comes to a Groudon, so there was a lot of nonsense happening on this day. And this ended up being a lot better for me in hindsight based on what they end up having in the back. So we go for the Fire Punch right here. Should be more or less enough to take out the Lugia. We swap out simultaneously, which is best case scenario for us. I'm trying to find out here before they get to another move, but we're not able to. This kind of sucks. I'm forced to burn a shield right here, and now it's 0 shield Reshiram against a 2 shield, fully healthy, whatever it is in the back. They bring the Lugia, which gives me some free farm. It's Giratina Origin. There was one Pokemon we wanted to see right here. It is Giratina Origin, but with 2 shields, this is still a losing matchup. We need to catch a move on the Groudon to have any chance of winning this game. Going straight for the crunch right here, really praying for a defense drop at this point. We finally get it right there. Swap into the Groudon, hoping this is the Shadow Ball. It's actually a Dragon Pulse, which is even crazier. That was like an insane call because they went past the Shadow Ball. We had to just guess at what point they were going to throw. Guess correctly, taking out the Giratina Origin there, coming back from a very difficult spot, and we take that game. I play tennis in the next match. Very talented trainer right here, and we got Groudon into Togekiss. So the Groudon versus Togekiss matchup's a little bit interesting. I do swap out into Lugia, but I've been noticing a lot of these teams oftentimes don't have a steel type in the back, so I will sometimes stay in with Groudon and just take the 1 versus 0, or the 1 versus 1, or the 0 versus 0, and sack my Groudon. In this case, I felt like there probably is a steel type, so I did swap out into Lugia to lure it out. And thankfully for us, there was a steel type. Gonna go for the Sky Attack right here, no shield from the Melmetal, and they're gonna take us out with the Rock Slide. I will come back in with the Groudon here now. The main difference between Lugia and Dialga is a safe switch in this matchup when you lure out the Melmetal is that they're not debuffing themselves with the superpower against Lugia, whereas they are doing that against the Dialga. Thankfully for us, it was only one move. I did shield it up. They come back in with the Togekiss. Gonna go for the Fire Punch right here. Gonna have to get off a couple of these and then look to swap out into the Reshiram at some point. Might even try and catch a potential Flamethrower. It's gonna see how to play this out. They're gonna throw the move here, so I'm hoping this is only an ancient power. Is the Flamethrower, so that's unfortunate. It would have been nice if we caught that, to be honest. Expecting a shield, but they swap out to Giratina, and I'd make a mistake here. I should 100% be going for Fire Punch here because it's pretty much the win condition. I did not need to give up that much energy there. Even if they know shield doesn't matter, because at this point the game is kind of over, so I'm going to shield up this move right here. Shadow Ball comes through, shield it up, and go for the Crunch. And the Crunch here, going to take out the Giratina. I like the no shield there because Togekiss has a decent match here. I can't really farm them down. They keep the shield, they're going to shield up the Crunch. I need the defense drop here, basically. They go for Ancient Power, and even though it's CMP, they somehow sneak in the Charm there, which makes 0 sense. I don't know how that happens, but it happened. CMP sneaking in a move on the CMP somehow. Defense did drop, as you saw, and Groudon not able to farm now. They're still very unfortunate. Lose that game, but it is what it is. Hopping into the next set of battles right here, we got Chem Coop, and we're going to be putting Groudon into a Zacian. If you're going to see Zacian, you probably want to see it in the lead with this team. And typically, you saw in the first battle, we threw the Earthquake first. Let's see how we do it this time. They're going to throw the Close Combat immediately. And they'll probably look to swap out. Maybe Play Rough comes through. Actually, it's not even, I like that play. Go for the Play Rough here. Doesn't lower the defense. Let's go for the Earthquake here, not expecting the shield, which they do not do. Swap out into the Lugia right here, knowing that they probably don't have Wild Charge. We see a Mewtwo come in. When the opponent brings in Mewtwo into Lugia, kind of has to be Shadow Ball or Ice Beam, right? But decides to call the bait there in the first one. It is only a Side Strike. Going for the Aeroblast here, just hoping to nuke. No shield. You absolutely love to see it. So that's going to put us in a pretty good spot right here. Opponent comes back in with the Zacian. They're probably not running Wild Charge, so I'm not expecting that to be the move here. I don't think Wild Charge even KOs from this range, so Play Rough comes through. Going to attempt to farm down here. Not able to do it, so I might burn a shield right here in order to take out this Zacian. They might swap out, they do to defer that damage. Going for the Aeroblast here against the Dialga. We should be in a pretty good spot at this point. Gonna go with the Groudon. No point to build up to Earthquake here, just go straight Fire Punch, look to get these shields, and then farm down with the Reshiram, but the opponent decides to no shield. I think they knew the writing was on the wall at this point, so just gonna no shield this, go down, and we are going to be able to take this game without having to show the featured Pokemon of this video, which is in fact Reshiram. Hopping into the next battle. This is a full set of 5 battles actually right here, so we see a very difficult lead for this team Kyogre. Swap out into the Reshiram. You may think that's a pretty bad move, but Reshiram's a soft loss to Kyogre, so it's not the worst scenario. Dialga comes in. I'm going to go for the overheat here, and it makes sense to shield the overheat here because obviously that's going to kill the Dialga. So because of that thinking, you would think it makes sense to go for Crunch there, instead try to lower the defense, but I tried it one time and some lunatic actually no shielded the Crunch where overheat would have KO'd it when we switched. So it's a guessing game, right? I think it's safer to go overheat, but logically thinking, it does make sense to go for the Crunch, but then the opponent thinks, I know what you're thinking, so I'm going to do this and stuff, and it's like a meta game. It is what it is. A lot of game theory. Kyogre comes back in, going to get off this Earthquake right here, and that is going to go no shielded, so I come in with the Lugia. Opponent has a Zekrom in the back. Not exactly what you want to see here with the Lugia. Of course, if it was 0 shields, it'd be an okay, I mean, it'd still be very close. So Sky Attack comes through, gets the shield. And it kind of makes sense to go Crunch first, then Wild Charge after. They might even have Outrage, so I do shield first. No attack drop there, or defense drop rather from the Crunch. Going for the Sky Attack, not enough to KO. You hate to see it. And we're not able to farm down, so don't think this will actually KO here. No, it does not. And then the defense dropped, which was horrible. And I should have known they were out of move, so I should have tried to catch the move on the Groudon. That was pretty much the only win con right there. Might have still lost, but misplay there towards the end. Very tough spot. There wasn't really too much I could do, but it is what it is. We lose that game. Very well played to the opponent. Groudon into another Kyogre here in the next match, so a lot of bad leads right here. Going to swap out again into the Reshiram, and the opponent's staying in. When they stay in, it makes me think they probably don't have a Dialga, because it would make sense to just swap that immediately. And they come up with Togekiss. So Togekiss coming in. Overheat is going to hurt. Are they going to shield this? No, they don't. They let it go through. That is huge damage. Our attack has been dropped by 2 stages. Able to farm down the Togekiss right there. Absolute insanity. We take switch advantage, keeping that Groudon away from the Kyogre. And there's actually a Dialga in the back, so might have made more sense for the opponent to just come in Dialga into the Reshiram instead, but we're going to take this, of course, puts us in a really nice spot right here. And I think we can just go straight Fire Punch. Don't really think there is a need to go for Earthquake at this point. The Groudon isn't too important here, and I just want to get off as much damage as possible to this Dialga, saving the Lugia for the Kyogre in the back. The opponent here should be an Iron Head. We will actually survive that, so I'm going to no shield, swap out into Lugia. They should be dry in energy here. Gonna look to get off this Sky Attack, and I don't think they're at a Thunder or Draco meter yet, so it should be probably close to an Iron Head. They're going to swap out into Kyogre right here. Shields are down. This is only going to be a Surf. No need to shield this. I will get to the Aeroblast, and Aeroblast, of course, is going to be enough to take out the Kyogre. And then the Dialga is so low that even if it does knock out the Lugia with the move it has stored, the Groudon will be able to farm it down with 1 Mud Shot. Opponent gonna throw the move right here. It's only an Iron Head. Lugia super tanky, survives that move, takes out the opponent, and we win that game. 2-1 in this second set. Hopping into the next battle, we got a very high ranked player right here, 2952, very close to Legend. These battles were from a while ago, so they are probably at Legend already at this point. Groudon into Palkia, another very difficult lead. 3 water types in a row right here. Not what you like to see. Gonna shield up the Aqua Tail right here and go straight for the Earthquake. So I'm expecting a no shield here, of course, by going for this move, and they do shield. So very unfortunate to swap out into Reshiram. Not a great answer here to the Palkia, to be honest, but we are going to let the Aqua Tail come through. It's only dealing neutral. Zacian comes in, which isn't great. Going to get to the Overheat. So let's hope this goes unshielded right here. It does huge damage from the Reshiram. The Zacian here going to take us out with the close combat lowering its defense, but it might be close to 2 moves. So I think we'll come in here with Lugia, to be honest. Yeah, we will, hoping to catch the close combat right here. And we do, you love to see it. Gonna get off 2 Dragon Tails right here. Opponent comes in with a Metagross, so I mean, it's kind of like a hard counter line right here. It's not too much we could do. So a Meteor Mash comes through. Gonna go for the Aeroblast. And this will deal nice damage if it lands, of course, which it does. Swap out into the Groudon. Here comes the Palkia. And I figured my win condition here was to go for the Fire Punch bait and then land the Earthquake. And the opponent decided to no shield. So I couldn't believe they no shielded, to be honest, because if I just landed the Earthquake, we win the game. But a great call right there to no shield. They come with the Metagross. And now the Lugia. Unfortunately, we can't throw the Sky Attack because they have a shield, so we have to commit to the farm down. If they have 2 moves stored back to back, we lose this game. First Meteor Mash, second one going to lose this game right there, very close. Should have probably just went for the Earthquake, to be honest. I was very amazed by the no shield right there. I was not expecting it, but GG's to the opponent. 2-2, looking to clutch out the positive set here in the 5th and final battle. And once again, it's another horrible lead for Groudon. So Togekiss swap out into the Lugia right here. Lugia versus Togekiss is a pretty even matchup, so not the best situation to find ourselves in, but the opponent is staying in. I assume they probably have another answer for Groudon in the back by staying in here. They go for the Ancient Power. Gonna go straight for the Aeroblast here. And they let it go through, so that's huge. Coming in with the Giratina. Gonna build up to the Sky Attack here. And probably wasn't really expecting a shield at this point, but the opponent did decide to shield, so that was very nice. We will get farmed down here. And then at this point, kind of a tricky spot. They're pretty loaded on energy. I come in with the Reshiram. And we definitely survive a Shadow Ball. Ominous Wind bait would hurt, but they do in fact go for the Shadow Ball, so that's very nice. And now they'll probably outpace us to another move. Could be another Shadow Ball potentially, so I actually double shield here, which is pretty crazy. I don't recall this match. Groudon comes in. I'm going to go for the Crunch bait. Overheat really hurts Groudon, so they have to respect the shield, which they do. Swap out into our own Groudon. We get the super clutch defense drop on Crunch, and the Earthquake comes through. We survive that. This next Earthquake should more or less put them in knockout range here if it doesn't KO already. Earthquake coming through, takes out the Groudon. Giratina comes back in, looking to throw this Fire Punch. And they're forced to throw energy here because they can't farm us down at this point. Fire Punch, able to one-shot down. Togekiss in the back, doesn't want the smoke. We take that game. Managed to pull off the 3-2 set despite at least 4 very bad leads. So those were the battles featuring Reshiram in the Master League Classic. A very difficult Pokemon to use, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this content, seeing Reshiram in action. I am going to continue to use it. Hope to reach Legend rank with it in the Master League, but to be honest, I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see. If a video comes out featuring Reshiram reaching Legend, you guys will see it. If I fail, maybe I'll upload that video anyways if you guys want to see that as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.